Tom, I'm going to let you take over and just have some fun.
This is actually Sharpe's phone number, so write this down for even more times than just tonight. It's 501-514-4646, and you can get questions to Danny Joe Crawford, me, Sharpe Dunaway, 501-514-4646.
All right, so if you want to call in, you can call in right now. I can put you on the air, or whatever you want to call it. What is this called? It's on the Wi-Fi?
On the Wi-Fi.
On the Y. On the Y.
But you would say on the air, wouldn't you? I mean, that's like the common...
We are on the air.
Yeah, in a sense.
We need to put the phone number like right here. I wish I could get it on the screen here, but I haven't figured that part out yet.
Magic 105-01-514
Exactly.
4646.
Or you can just go ahead and message us in the comments below and ask us any questions you want. If you don't ask us any questions, we're going to sit back and just drink beer and BS amongst ourselves.
Mm-hmm. What's in that cup that you brought, Danny Joe?
Well, that's for me to know and everybody else to guess.
Little cherry limeade, little vodka.
Well, Sharpe did say that he would make me a cranberry and vodka, but
did you bring cranberry?
I didn't bring cranberry.
I have vodka.
I had to come up back to the house to get the headphones.
And that was where your cranberry was.
No, I didn't have any cranberry at the house.
The headphones do sound good, though, don't they?
Kroger's
They
like,
sound fantastic.
hop, skipping a jump away.
Quint, you want to take my car and go get some cranberry?
Say yes. Say yes. I'd love to see that.
No.
I'd love to see what was left of it when it came back.
It's the white Lexus out there.
Can you guys believe it's like January 10th and the door's open and we're kind of sweating and you're still wearing a coat?
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
What is the deal with the weather? Can you ask people who are watching this to let us know? Because we've been kind of insulated from whatever's happened in the last hour and a half.
Hey, you want to show everybody what Nathan Scott said on his page? I mean, that's some serious stuff.
Oh, is that about how the meteorologist is dressed?
Oh, he says, and I'll say it, he says pretty much the shit's going to hit the fan.
Yep. Well, Jacobian told me this. He knows that Tom Wood and I are in Conway, Arkansas.
Yep.
And he said that as long as you are home by 10 p.m., you are okay. Just make sure you're at home by 10 p.m.
All right.
How are you friends with, Angela, how are you friends with Todd Jacobian? You're supposed to, you like know him a little bit.
Well, he went to Holy Souls.
Oh, okay. They're like classmates and stuff.
Oh.
So Heidi says, Quint, take the car. Uncle Howie's watching. He says, moonshine. Don Garner says, play Children of the Sun.
For old time's sake.
Oh, my God.
Mark Wallace played that the other day on Arkansas Rocks. Children
Yeah.
of the Sun.
That's a song that, for some reason, rarely got day parted. I mean, it was like one of those specialty shows or whatever like that.
Did K-She play that song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's where I think we got the idea that it was a great song for this region of the country, and we kind of adopted it for our own. Great tune.
Okay, John Cohen says, what was the most favorite Magic 105 concert?
Like a concert trip?
It could be.
The McCartney show to Memphis?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Was that in the 90s?
That was Liberty Bowl. That was 90s.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
U2?
That was also a great. That was at the Liberty Bowl,
Liberty
too.
Bowl. Both
yeah.
of them were at the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
Because, at the time, that was a memorable show because Magic 105 was the sponsor of the after show party. I don't know how the hell we got that, but for me, it was Seventh Heaven because that was the first time that I got to go one-on-one with the purple one, the Royal Badness, up in, what was it? It was Joe's Big Bamboo, but inside it was...
you're thinking Midnight Rodeo, and there was another
Yes.
one. They had two names. It was all Joe's Big
two
Bamboo
names, yeah.
back in those days.
But that was really, really cool. And this is how I remember Sharpe's birthday. It happened the day after Sharpe's birthday.
Oh, no. Prince came to my 30th birthday because it was after midnight.
It was after midnight.
It was
That's
after
right.
midnight. So I tell everybody Prince came to my birthday party.
And let me tell you something. It was the first time that I was literally between me and you, okay? He's there inside the little, the club area that has the pool tables. And he's just cool. He's got sunglasses. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's got his little stick that he's holding on to. And I was like, man, he's just like essence of cool.
That is everything right there.
Yeah, it was for me. It was.
Tell me physically, is he as small as everybody always said?
Oh yeah, he's 5 feet.
Oh my God, he's not that short.
Yes, he is. The only reason he seems tall is because he's got 3-inch stilettos.
That's true. He did wear those high heels.
Yeah.
That's
When
right.
he walked in, though, they had a police escort from Barton Coliseum to the back door of Joe's, and we're all just standing next to it. None of us are going to believe Prince is coming to Joe's Big Bamboo.
And he did.
Until we saw it.
And it was amazing. I'll tell you, as far as for me, now I know that the McCartney show has to be big for you, but to finally have Prince come to Arkansas since he was banned in 1982. He played at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. It was December 1982, and obviously, there was malicious activities with possibly an underage person. He was not allowed to come back to Arkansas. And same thing with John Bon Jovi. I think he played at the Pine Bluff Convention Center sometime in the early 80s. Same situation. But so when he came in, if memory serves me correct, I believe it was 97. Is that right? No, 98. 98, January 98.
January 3rd, 1998.
Yep, that's right, for his 30th birthday.
How do you guys remember these days?
It was the day before my birthday.
Day before his birthday.
Oh, okay.
But that was the first time Prince had come since 1982, and it was an amazing show. Set list, he ran through like 36 songs. It was a great show, but the after show was cool because, like I said, I was like right here to Prince, and for me, it was cool.
I was never that huge a fan of Prince until you kind of came into my life, and I got beyond the hits. Because I never would have taken the initiative to get beyond the radio hits had you not.
Right. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Oh man,
that was some good stuff.
now I wish these headphones weren't that good.
No kidding.
All right, so Tim McNew has asked, can we get a bigger venue for the anniversary party? Only 300 people capacity, 315 actually. Going to try and squeeze in there. Now, here's the thing. Yes, it's only a 315 person capacity for the Ron Robinson Theater. And we're working on an after party. That's all I know right now. But stick with the Remember Magic 105 page, and we'll let you know if the after party happens like we're hoping it does. But the after party place is bigger than the event that this is happening.
Well, I'll tell you, after getting this kind of input from a lot of people, I've talked with John. John Miller is the guy from Arkansas Sounds that came up with this idea to begin with. And I've talked to him about it, and he said, look, this is the biggest venue that we've got for the Central Arkansas Library System, so we've got to go with this. We don't want to take it away from them. I mean, maybe we could find a bigger place, but we don't want to take it away from them because it was their idea.
No, yeah.
And they're doing all the work, so just get there early, try to get one of the seats. He'll accommodate some standing room, but there's fire laws you got to accommodate and all the rest of it. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but he actually told me in one of my planning meetings with him, look, if we turn away as many people as get in, we'll do this again. We'll do it in the summer. We'll do it in a year from now or whatever. And I know that doesn't satisfy the people who may get turned away because it's full, but still, he's a very accommodating guy and he's a cool guy.
He is very much so. Let's see here. Was there any practical jokes played on each other at the radio station? I'm gonna go morning show with that. Crawford, go ahead.
You know the best practical joke. So I guess we can tell this. So Nathan Christian called him Whipper. Okay. So he lived in the Magic 105 van. I don't know if you actually knew that.
I didn't for the longest time, but I do now, yeah.
He lived in the van, okay, literally. And if he's watching right now, I am so sorry. But there was one day that Tommy decided to go get a bag of flour, okay? And he said, go throw this in there. You know, of course, man, I don't give a shit. So I threw it in there. And Dale Daniels comes out. Okay, because somebody told him, it says, hey, Mr. Daniels, there's Coke in the Magic 105, man.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand why he would want him to throw a bag of flour in there.
Yes.
Now I get it.
And so Dale Daniels comes out there, and he's looking at it, and, of course, he already knows that it's fake. But it was Monkey Man. Monkey Man went and told Dale to go out there and look at it. But I thought that was a pretty funny practical joke. But as far as malicious things, oh my God, the sofa that we had in the Rock and Roll Breakfast office, for whatever reason, there was some nasty activity happening when in the overnights.
Yeah.
And people would use the sofa for things that it was just really disgusting. And I have to blame Whipper because he got busted on this. He hooked up with somebody on that sofa. I will leave that woman's name unmentioned, but it's just nobody sat on that sofa again.
I remember speaking to somebody who wasn't involved with Magic 105, but was in the building. Who told
when it happened?
No, not when it happened, but he also used that sofa for some of those kind of activities.
Oh my God! Because I think I know exactly what sofa you're talking about, and I think Perry Morris might have slept on that sofa the night before the Screaming Santas played in the convention center.
Yes, it's a black and white zebra print sofa. It was the most hideous sofa, but for whatever reason, people got lucky on that sofa.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know if I'd call that lucky, but yeah, it did happen.
Hey,
I'm Connie.
I want to know.
I want to see the sofa.
Oh, my God.
I want to see the sofa.
I got some stories about that woman. I love you, Connie.
She's going to be on the show. We're going to get her on the show,
we're
right?
gonna get her on the show.
You're working on that.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
On this podcast?
Yeah, we're going to get her on the podcast.
That's a brilliant idea.
All I'm going to do is Connie's going to sit. I think Crofford's going to join us on that show. And we're going to just ever sit where you're sitting. I'm just going to go, Peter Frampton.
The stories that woman could tell.
Oh, my God. Absolutely right.
Huey Lewis.
Legendary.
Yep. Well, those are the two extremes right there.
Yeah.
Then Grand Funk Railroad. And you know, I'll ask you, do you know what Led Zeppelin song mentioned Sweet Sweet Connie?
Led Zeppelin song?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I think somebody told me this.
Come on, Tom.
Was it from the Physical Graffiti album?
Oh.
No? Okay, well, then I'm wrong.
It's In Through the Outdoor.
It's on it. Is it Southbound Soiree?
Tom Wood, everybody.
No way.
Tom
Are you
Wood.
serious?
Yep.
I had no idea.
If you listen to it, it says, with a little bit of sweet, sweet, sweet Connie.
She's got two
Makes me
songs
feel
about her?
2 songs.
I can't even get one.
Yeah, I know. You got one. It's real short.
Well, that's only because Prince is dead. He would have written one about you. He sure would have. That is a pretty big claim to fame.
I have pictures of Sharpe naked if anyone wants to see them. Thank you, Greg.
I got plenty.
Let's see here. That's just join the club. That's you're so in the majority right now. Blake Woodson says Danny Joe almost didn't see
Him, I think.
Oh, with
that
it's a
camouflage
camouflage.
shirt
Yeah. What are we missing here? By the way, if you want to be the first to call possible tornado south of Mina. Yeah, thank you, Uncle Howie. Uncle Howie with the weather.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I was curious about that.
Long
South of Mina is what he said?
South of Mina.
Okay, that's a long way away so far.
Will there be T-shirts sold? Some anniversary shirts would be awesome, Angela. But Angela's probably not here right now. Did she leave?
Isn't there the Dunaway Printing Company?
We
that's
can
in
actually
the other room?
put a link up to a page on the Remember Magic 105 sign if anybody wants these shirts that we can do that say Remember Magic 105. We sold a couple, but I think with the event coming up, might be a good idea. I mean, your fund goes into the Quint Dunaway College Fund.
Excellent.
Everybody's wondering where the money goes. It goes into the Quint Dunaway College Fund, who's, by the way, announced that he's going to be a film major today.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And if there's anybody at this table who would appreciate that, it's you.
Absolutely. I
is
love
great.
movies. You know, what would be great is if you have the old logo on the front and the last logo on the back.
Didn't the Buzz do that when they had the
That farewell
when
party?
Magic, when the farewell party, when
I don't
Magic
think
105
so.
went out?
I don't think that anybody that did that party knew about the blue and white.
I think the blue and white's on it. I think I have it.
Are you
I think
serious?
I actually have that shirt.
Do either one of you guys know where that blue and white logo came from, what the inspiration for that was?
No, I don't.
Because I was talking to somebody the other day. Oh, you do know? Because I was talking to somebody the other day about what kind of stories people are going to tell that night at the reunion. And I said, well, I'll tell you the story of where that blue and white logo came from. They said, okay, don't tell me now. Wait till the night. So
Wait till the night.
I'll tell her that night.
Oh, so don't tell now?
No, I think it'd be cool to wait. Okay.
Now, I know where the red and yellow logo came from because I actually met the guy that designed the logo. So, but as far as the blue and white, no.
Yeah. You got to watch a little cable.
He's right.
Gotcha.
He's exactly right.
You already told me.
So that's the only hint I got. That's the only hint we got.
I don't know how many people who are watching this would know the name of Dick Booth, the guy who actually started. I know. Who
founded-
Actually, Dick was okay in the end. In the end, I know you got a problem with him, but
Tommy had the perfect description of him the other day. He said, "Is Dick going to be there at the reunion?" And I said, "No. So far, he hasn't responded to our request that he come." But he said he was an evil genius, and that's why Magic 105 rooted itself and became the incredible radio station that it was. Is because of that evil genius.
every day he threatened to fire me. Every day, but he never did.
If there was ever oil and water, it was Sharpe Dunaway, Dick Booth.
He looked at me and said, Sharpe, I don't think you respect me. And I said, Dick, of course I respect you. I said, you're the owner of this radio station, a great radio station called Magic 105. Why wouldn't I respect you? Because, well, you don't talk to me that much and you don't really, you make me feel like I'm not getting the respect I deserve. And I said, Dick, I come to work every day. Do you want me to kiss your ass? That's extra.
The funny thing is, that's a good impression.
It's a very close impression, yeah. The funniest thing that we always used to say about Dick Booth was when he got drunk, he shrunk and his suit got real big. It was like that David Byrne suit in the Talking Heads thing.
He called me up in the middle of the night when I was doing overnights once.
Wow.
And he said, and LaDon, I know you're laughing right now. I hope you are. Anyway, he said, Sharpe, it's Dick Booth. 3 o'clock in the morning. He's drunk. He says, I want to hear a song. I'm told that the playlist is God, and I'm supposed to play the playlist. note for note for note. And if I mess the playlist up, this is your boss, Dick. But I don't care who it is.
Good
I'm
answer.
playing by the rules.
That is a great answer.
And I just told him, I said, sir, you're going to have to come up and fire me for doing what you told me not to do.
You know, I've got a question since you're talking about things from the old days. Okay, so I know why a lot of the jocks played Funeral for a Friend and In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
That's how babies were conceived.
But how did the traditional Saturday night playing of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida start?
It really wasn't anything more than just an inspirational idea. You know, I mean, the song is so unique and the radio station was so unique. We were always trying to come up with things, get the Let Out, the Floyd Fix, the Gonzo Rock Show.
It was Vanuary.
Yep, we did Vanuary.
Yeah.
There were a couple other month things that we did too. But it really wasn't anything more than just, this is a cool idea. Let's do this. And it lasted for years.
You remember the Bad Songs Weekend?
I do remember that. Do you remember the bluegrass versions of Rock Songs Weekend?
Yeah.
That was a fun weekend.
But I just remember Bad Songs Weekend. I got to kick something off my bucket list. I got to play Sky Rockets in Flight, Afternoon Delight on Magic 105.
My wife to this day says that I never knew Afternoon Delight was about,
Sex.
what it's about. Yeah. I thought, well, what else would it be about?
Afternoon Quickies.
You know, when I first started coming up there, I just remember there was a turntable and we still played vinyl. Of course, when I say carts, us three would know what they are, but the mass audiences don't. It's like 8-track player. I mean, it's like a 8-track that goes into an 8-track player that played all the commercials and songs were on there. And so the CD library wasn't as, extensive as, when we got over to the other place. And actually that was kind of a small window because everything was digital. But, I just remember, just, wow, the reel to reel, because that's how I was taught, So Tommy taught me, the reel to reel and taught me, just everything, old school wise. And when you look at studios now, it's like, there's no concept of how radio was done. I mean, 20 years ago.
Splicing.
Yeah.
Splicing.
Yeah.
When you had to put a piece of was it wax marker here and wax marker here, and then put the razor blade and physically cut the tape. Just to get somebody that said an F-bomb to make them go, hey, Sharpe, you.
I mean, that's good, though, that you learned all that old school ways.
People have no idea. Like, there was an art to radio, as far back as the early 90s for me. But, like these people today that are on the air, they have no concept of the hard work. You couldn't just hit play and just go, out and do whatever you wanted to and come back in an hour, to do a break. I mean, literally, these people now, I mean, they're like spoiled because everything is pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's something to be said about, the way the radio was, in the 90s. And it was phasing out because obviously I think we moved into the old Sam's Warehouse in 2001. So
sounds about right.
2001. Yeah. And so, I mean, all that was gone. I mean, it was all computers. So, like right now, I mean, in 2020, I mean, we're broadcasting live over the internet. I mean, who thought about that?
For my incredible state-of-the-art studios.
Yeah, and it is a state-of-the-art.
I mean, look at the jacuzzi over there. I just got that the other day.
Looks awesome.
That is nice.
Sweet.
Smells good too.
Next show, live in the jacuzzi.
Ladies, don't be drinking all the Champa Ginny.
I won't be here for that live from the jacuzzi show. Sorry.
Listen, on this stream, I'm fatter than all of y'all. And bald. My hair's like all gone in the last 25 years.
These lights are unforgiving, man.
Jesus.
I tell you, it's unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so if you want to be the first phone caller of the day, you can call us in at 501-514-4646, and you can actually talk to us. So we're looking for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to be the first caller of the day, and I'm going to watch my phone right now to see if anybody wants to make that phone call. I don't want it to ring.
Jeff Allen and Brian McCrae just joined.
Did they?
No kidding.
Now, Jeff is on his way back from St. Louis. He saw the Blues Sabres game last night.
Oh, did he?
And he just called in and said hi to us. He said hi, by the way, Crofford.
Brian McCrae just coming back from Graceland. They celebrated Elsa's birthday.
Did he really go over there?
No, I'm just
I was going to
shit up.
Say, if anybody's going to Graceland,
It's Brian McCrae.
I don't know, man.
I would have believed it.
Okay, now Tom knows a story because I know he's friends with Brian McCrae. And we're talking about Brian McCrae, who used to be the promotions director over at Magic 105, one of the many. Have you ever heard the story about him and Elvis the day that Elvis died?
No.
He literally quit his job and drove to Memphis.
He was a manager of a Wendy's in Hot Springs.
Like, if he would still be the manager of Wendy's, he would retire like Dick Booth. I mean, that's how, that's how high up the food chain he was.
I love me some Brian McRae, man. There's just some kind of cool vibe about him. Yeah. That, remember when you were describing Prince and how you looked at him and get, there's something about him that's
it's
just
the
like
hair.
That. Maybe it is. I don't know what it is.
It's the hair.
I don't know what it is. But
listen, I remember he started, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, I believe it was December 1999.
How do you guys
do you remember who he replaced?
Was it Susan Cochran?
Susan Cochran.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember Susan.
Last I remember, she went to San Antonio. I think.
She called me out of the blue.
What?
Just a few years ago. I think she saw a Facebook post or something like that and called me, and she's doing great. Still married to the same guy. Their family's doing great. She's happy. Yeah.
Yeah. But, good times with Brian McRae.
Yeah. Good dude, man.
I started a watch party. Evidently, I'm not savvy enough on Facebook. I started a watch party. Now all I can see is the people watching on my page now, but I don't get anybody on the other one.
I'll tell you a good story about me and Brian McRae playing golf. We both had lots at Hot Springs Village, and so there was a time when Magic 105 was just like running on perfect timing. Everything about the radio station was hitting perfect. Right. And he and I found ways. We were playing golf about 2 or 3 times a week. We would leave the station at like 2 in the afternoon during the summer, and we'd drive down to the village and we'd play. There's a guy in Fayetteville named Tony Behringer who became our manager for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of nervous about him because we didn't really know him, and we didn't know exactly how strict he would be. Well, one of those days when we snuck away, there we are at DeSoto Country Club in Hot Springs Village playing golf, and both of our phones ring at the same time. And we look at the thing and we realize, oh shit, that's Tony Behringer. And it's 2:30 in the afternoon and we're playing golf on a weekday. What are we going to do? So Brian goes to, golfers will appreciate this. Brian goes to one side of the fairway. I go to the other side of the fairway. And
call him back.
Yeah, we don't want him to hear any swings. We don't want him to hear any golf carts. And we managed to get away with it.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, I will tell you this because obviously we're here to promote the 40th anniversary reunion show, and it's going to be a panel, okay?
Right.
A couple panels.
Right.
But I'm very excited because as somebody that is a student, I enjoy the history of the station. Of course, I didn't show up until, the mid-90s, and of course, the station was around, 15 years prior. I'm looking forward to meeting Casey Jones because I've never met her. I'm looking forward to meeting David Allen Ross because I've never met him. Now, what are you? Because, you are the ringleader, okay? You are the guy. What's your feeling to, seeing all these people, that, you haven't seen in probably, 20 years or more?
I've stayed in touch with everybody over the years, maybe minimally. Like I don't talk to Casey and Carol as much as I talk to you, for example, or you.
Right.
But I've stayed in touch with everybody, thankfully. Excuse me. So I just the whole seeing them and sitting at the same table with them and telling stories, that's what I'm looking forward to. The emotional bonding that's going to happen and the things they remember. Because you got to remember that I was like, in addition to being on the air, I was also the program director. So I was there. I was basically an 8 to 5 guy, just the middle of that day I was on the air, all of the stuff, the cool stuff that happened in the afternoons when you were there, in the evenings when Carol was there, in the overnights when Casey was there. There's probably stories they're going to tell that I don't even know about. I can't wait to hear these things.
Check this out. We got a phone call.
All right.
You're live on the whatever you want to call it.
Hey, I was wondering what your most obnoxious or crazy guest was on Magic 105.
Oh, I got a good story for that. Jim Dandy and Black Oak, Arkansas were coming back to Little Rock to do some kind of a reunion show at Robinson Auditorium, and Jim Dandy wanted to come up to the station to do an interview. I said, great. So he comes in, and after we talked for about 5 or 10 minutes about the show, he decided that he wanted to sing his favorite song of all time, which was Whiter Shade of Pale. And he sang it a cappella in the studio, off key, and it just went on and on and on. And you don't interrupt a rock star, you let him go. But oh my God, I thought I'm losing every listener in Little Rock.
That was painful.
It was painful. It was.
That was such an awesome. I'll hang up and listen. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I was gonna leave him on the air, but he's like, he's gone.
Yeah,
It's like
he's
then he just
gone,
hangs
yeah.
up and listening.
People are sophisticated these days.
And by the way, if you call in, and I'm doing this on my phone, I don't have 2 lines, so you got to call back if you're doing it. So whoever just called left a voicemail. Thank you for the voicemail, but go ahead and call back if you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see that our good buddy Uncle Don Ryan is on the Facebook Live. As far as I can't say most obnoxious, but I will tell you my favorite guest, anytime that he came up, he always had strippers. And so that was my favorite days because he had Miss Kitty's. Who's Uncle Don.
Uncle Don, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something like Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I want to tell that story real quick. I will tell you my friendship with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, started and began at Magic 105, and he was able to make me live my dream. And I got to wrestle not once but twice, and I'm 2-0 because of Magic 105.
1-0.
No, I'm 2-0 though.
I'm 1-0.
Yeah, well, I did it on Monday Night Nitro.
Boy, you want some of this? You want some? Hey,
Top that one.
Hey, who flipped Danny Joe Crawford over his back at Joe's Big Bamboo one day because he jumped on my back at a...
You did.
Yeah, I did.
You did. But, I mean, to be able to have relationships with all these wrestlers
I know, that's
is
cool.
because of the Mouth of the South and Magic 105. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, for me, the day that I got fired, and Tom Wood was in the room when I got fired, it was July 21st. I'm in the room with Tom.
Standby caller.
And what was the other guy's name? Phil Hunt. Mm-hmm. And Tommy's in the room with, I think, Gordon and the guy with no socks. Bruce.
Dimps.
Right.
Yep.
And it was just like, and I'm telling you, the air just left out of me because I'll be honest with you, I thought I was going to retire and die at Magic 105.
That's my favorite Tommy Smith story, by the way.
Oh, we can't say that, but yeah.
What?
The story?
I can't tell the story?
No, you can't tell the story the way he tells
No,
the
I can't tell the story. Nobody can tell the story the way he tells the story.
Yeah.
But when Tommy
But it's
told
a
me,
funny story.
Tommy looked at me and says, Sharpe, I wasn't pissed off that I got fired. I was pissed off that I got fired by a guy that wasn't wearing socks. Hang on.
good stuff.
Caller, you're on.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Oh, our ideal weight if we were 8 feet tall.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. You guys are carrying on, aren't you?
Oh, it's Clyde.
Clyde Clifford!
All right.
Oh,
I wondered how long it was going to take you.
oh my gosh. Well,
Legendary Beaker
you
Street.
had to give us like a few more syllables, but we'll get there.
We're used to hearing your voice come out of a speaker, not headphones,
Yeah.
Clyde.
Clyde, I hadn't heard your voice in so long, but it's good to hear you.
Well, it's good to be heard.
Yeah. Clyde, you did a great job on the, and I know he told me not to tell anybody. I didn't quite tell anybody, but when Beaker Street made a little bit of a return on New Year's Eve, that was awesome. On Arkansas Rocks, by the way, we didn't plug Arkansas Rocks last time you were here. Go ahead and
Yeah, that's right. Arkansas Rocks is this cool combination. It's a network of 7 different FM stations: Little Rock, Benton, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Malvern, Gurdon. And we're hoping that we can work Clyde into a regular schedule of Beaker Street.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're working on that. He's just retired from his regular day job, so he's vacationing just a little bit. And this is a classic rock, deep cut format that we're doing. For example, I this afternoon I taped the show because I knew we were coming up here. Played Post Toasty by Tommy Bolin.
Oh my gosh.
At 5:10 in the afternoon. So that's the kind of music that we're playing there, and we're having a ball.
And the legend of the USS Titanic.
That'll get some airtime, especially if you come back regularly, Clyde.
I went around the wheelhouse once. I went around about the third time around the wheelhouse.
Gee, and I thought that was just you, Sharpe.
Oh, yeah, that was me. And I got so many great stories of you coming on either after one of my shifts or when I came on after you when I was doing overnights and all the vinyl you would bring in. Do you still have all this vinyl?
I got quite a bit of it, yes.
As a matter of fact,
even more CDs, though.
I'm glad you do have all that vinyl because one of the things we want to do at Arkansas Rocks is get some turntables put in that studio for you, Clyde.
Yeah, well, we're looking into that. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm sure.
That's great.
We've just got a few things to work out, and it's not nothing radio-ish or anything else. I've just got to get some personal things worked out. But when we do, we're going to see about how regular this can be, and I would not mind doing a weekly show. I don't think I could do a daily show, but I can sure do a weekly show, I think.
Well, we'll take you whatever you want, weekly, monthly, however you want to do it.
So not quite an official announcement, but yet.
Not quite official, but, there are just a few things to be worked out yet, and I've got some things that I've just got to find out. Just some things that have got to be moved into place. But once they are, and like I said, they don't have anything to do with Arkansas Rocks. It's not, I'm real pleased with the reception I've got by all the folks at Arkansas Rocks. I mean, holy cow, it's like, he's like I fell into paradise there. But and like I said, there's some personal things I've got to get worked out, and once I get those done, then we'll be getting it squared away and getting some Beaker Street back on the radio.
I love it. Well, for people who don't know about the network, if you're in Little Rock, it's 94.5. If you're this is the thing about a network, each one is a kind of a low power FM. So when you go from town to town, it changes frequencies. 94.5 in Little Rock, 99.3 in Benton, 99.7 in Hot Springs, 104.1 in Malvern, and on down the line. But the easiest way to do it, especially if you're up here in Conway, where we are in the studio right here, and you can't get reception from the Little Rock signal, is you just go online, arkansasrocks.com. Got 2 different listen live links, and it's just beautiful.
What I think is so cool about it is it doesn't sound. It doesn't. How do I say this? I can't say it. It doesn't sound managed. And that's what I like about it.
It's not managed, man. We have total freedom.
Well,
Clyde
it's
can
not
attest.
managed in the sense of the word. In the sense of the word we got used to. It's not managed.
Right. Consulted, I guess, is the word we're looking for, right?
Do I?
Consulted, I think, is the word I meant to say.
Yeah, we're not consulted at all.
No, that's consulted is a dirty word.
Yes.
Hey, the freedom to play what you want, when you want.
Oh, that's the key, man. And we're getting a lot of things that people post on Facebook going, oh, man, why don't you play double vision for? I can hear that anywhere. Yeah. Well, the key is maybe we'll play double vision once, but we're going to play Star Rider and all the other foreigner cuts like way more often because this is a deep cut classic rock
Star
station.
Rider, what a great song.
Oh, so fun. And Clyde, you developed the template for what Arkansas Rocks is going to be round the clock. You're the Beaker Street guy, but that's where the inspiration comes from.
Well, like I said, I feel like it's just, it's just to be.
Yep.
Clyde, tell me, when was your first day on the air anywhere?
First day on the air anywhere?
When was your first day on the radio? Tell us about that.
I don't remember the exact first day, but it was a Sunday morning when KAAY was still in Channel 11's building at 8th and Izzard.
Wow. The legendary KAAY.
My first day, and it was during the daytime. I was on a 50,000 watt non-directional AM radio station. My first time on the air.
Wow. And that was when people were listening to you in Cuba. Yeah. Colorado.
Yeah, it was not too long after that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, I think this is awesome, but I don't know what else to ask him right now because I want to have him on the show sometime, but I don't want to ruin all my good questions.
You don't want to ruin all your good questions?
I'm teasing.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to have to go anyway, but I did want to say hi and I put my 2 cents in.
It's great hearing your
awesome.
voice.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. Thank you for calling, Clyde.
You guys take care. I'll talk to you all later.
Okay.
You too. Thank you very much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Clyde Clifford just called in.
Yeah. What an inspirational guy, man. I mean, he's just so... Here's the third person in our conversation that just embodies cool.
Yeah, he is one cool cat.
He's just so cool.
So if you want to call in, you can call in 501-514-4646. That is the number that I'm answering the phone here. You just go ahead and let it ring, and I'll answer it. And if we're talking about something else, we're talking about something else. So I just missed a call again. But
you see this? It says, DJC, tell the story about you burying the mannequin. And then
yes!
And then, hold on. DJC, do you want to comment on the golf outing with you, me, John Daly, Make a Wish? There's enough time that's passed that we can tell that story, right?
That's what podcasts are all about, man. You bet.
Sharpe, do you remember the John Daly incident? No, the John Daly incident.
Which one?
Okay. the one with the Magic 105 Make-A-Wish golf tournament in Cabot.
No.
Okay. So, and golly, I hope John's not listening, but
Standby caller.
I'll go ahead and tell the story. So John Daly was very, very big with Make-A-Wish, and we had a annual golf tournament that we did, and Daly came out, and of course, it started out with the Titties and Beer golf tournament that Tommy started, and so we had strippers on every hole. And they were completely naked doing things that you would have no idea. Well, most people buy mulligans. Let's just say that people were buying other things on the golf course. Of course, the executives for Make-A-Wish, they just kind of turned their head because John Daly raises a lot of money for this. Now, I can't remember which wife it was, but let's just say she was pregnant. The thing that I remember was that she had heard that Daly was, I think he was on hole number 16, and it was a long drive, and you paid money for him to hit his shot from the tee box, and it like dogwood right. I mean, it was like 500 yards,
Big
and
hole.
he would get it on the green, right? So what happens is that his wife finds out that there's strippers down there. So she jumps in a golf cart, and Trash Man is the driver. Now, do you remember Trash Man?
Yes.
Yes. Trash Man is driving the stripper down. And before he even stopped, she jumps out of a moving golf cart, and she's pregnant. She's probably like 6 or 7 months pregnant. And she rolls down the hill, but she never misses a beat. She gets up and starts darting, fist in hand, and she punches the stripper, okay? And then she gets on top of her, and she just starts pounding her. Now, we're talking about a 6 or 7 month, pregnant woman, and she's beating the shit out of the stripper, okay? She's completely naked, all right? And because we're just dudes, we just sit there and look at it. We're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Daly gets pissed off, breaks all his clubs. He jumps in his customized Humvee golf cart, which was awesome because it was air conditioned, had a loud sound system, and he like hauls ass back up to the parking lot, and he gets in his $5 million RV, and I don't know if he had a driver or what, but he drove it, and he took out some cars or something, and.
Right.
But it was the craziest thing. Now that's really the probably the story that I could tell about the strippers. Everything else I can't tell.
By the way, this portion of the show is brought to you by Sharpe Videography. If you don't have it on video, it didn't happen.
That's right.
Hi, caller, you're on the air.
I got a quick question for you. Of all the years that y'all were on, who was your favorite performer that you got to interview that came on your show? Like an answer from each of y'all.
Oh, wow.
One of mine was
Dun, dun, dun,
one of mine was Joe Elliott from Def Leppard, because we found out while we were interviewing him that he was on the radio when he was a kid in England, and we said, "Do you want to be a DJ here?" And he said, "Are you kidding?" And I said, "Yeah, give him an hour, let him play anything he wants." And he just got into it so much, so he did a guest DJ slot instead of a rock star interview.
All right, I'll tell you, mine was Zakk Wylde. When Zakk Wylde came in with the Black Label Society, he was playing at Juanita's. And he first thing he says to me, this is afternoon drive. He comes up to me and says, "Hey," he talked real raspy voice the way he talked. "Hey, Sharpe, yeah, nice to meet you, man. I'm Zakk Wylde. Hey, by the way, I don't do interviews with anybody that doesn't drink with me." And he literally pulls out a 6-pack of cold Heineken. I just looked at him and I said, "Well, it just so happens to be my favorite kind of beer." So literally, I'm drinking a Heineken while he's doing it, because that was Magic 105 back in the day. I mean, it was frowned upon, but I'm going to turn Zakk Wylde down.
As long as you weren't in control of the transmitter, you were fine.
I wasn't in control of the transmitter. I was in control of the thing that was controlling the transmitter.
Right, that's true.
I mean, I suppose there's a lot of loopholes that would have been bad. Crofford?
As far as musical guests, I can't say, but we sure did kill a lot of them. No. I'm serious. Okay, this is a funny story. So you remember the Golden Girls?
Yep.
Okay, we actually had every one of them, Estelle Getty, B. Arthur, and not Betty White. What's the other one?
Betty White was another one.
No. She's the one that's still alive.
Oh, okay.
The other one.
Rue McClanahan.
Ruth
He's
McClanahan.
met him.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so if you go back in history, okay, we are like the last interviews with her. Okay, with each one of those women.
Wow.
They died like shortly afterwards, okay? And then the last interview ever for the Junkyard Dog, who's a wrestler, was at Magic 105 because he stopped by on his way to go see his daughter graduate, and he had a heart attack and drove off the road coming back from the graduation. I mean, and then obviously, you know, the biggest sports icon, Sweetness, Walter Payton comes in, and not too long after that, he was diagnosed with, you know, with
you just got to stop telling these guests the stripper story about John Daly.
Now, as far as like songs go,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Trent Tyler's got us all beat because he had the songs. I'm not going where you think I'm going.
Okay,
but actually, it was Trent's show, and we were in there when he had Kenny Wayne Shepherd and his singer in there, and they recorded that acoustic version of Blue on Black.
You're right.
And we ended up, I think Eric Johnson or somebody took it into the studio and did a mix where the acoustic version blended into the studio version.
Beautiful work.
See, we didn't ever have musical guests in the late 90s, early 2000s. The coolest one is James Caan, and I wish I had the recording of it. Do you remember that?
My favorite line from there is he says, I take a little bit of Viagra every day so I don't piss on my shoes.
That's right. And he says, Linda, these yahoos from Little Rock, they're talking about Viagra.
Yeah.
You're right about the musical guests, though.
Question, guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Who
Go
is
ahead.
the hottest female performer? And Crofford, if you say B. Arthur, I'm going to kick you in the
Hottest female performer? You mean that we've ever had on the station?
Yes, sir.
Lita Ford,
For the record, I didn't have any females at the station.
First one that came to my mind was Lita Ford.
Yeah,
it probably was.
And she was with Carol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Carol has told me she's going to tell a couple of really great Lita Ford stories at the reunion. Yeah. Yeah, I think we got a unanimous Lita Ford vote there, sir.
Mine was Leif Garrett.
What?
Guys, have a great night.
You too. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Wow.
That is hurtful.
Yeah, 501-514-4646. Phone lines are open now if you'd like to call in. So, so we're talking about the party. The party's coming up January 24th. And one thing we want to make perfectly clear is that, it is a very, we didn't expect it to be as small of a venue as it is because 315 people is all it does. We weren't expecting 315 people to show up.
It's an intimate setting.
I was also kind of I've been to many things at the Ron Robinson Theater, and when he said it was 318 seats, it really caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
If you'd have asked me, I'd have said 500, something like that, but it's smaller than that.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hey, man, cool stream you guys are doing. It's great to go down memory lane with you guys.
Thank you.
I was going to tell a Clyde Clifford story, but it wouldn't stack up to strippers getting beat up on the 18th hole
by a pregnant lady.
But I did once get a job at a local, medical school, and got introduced to a sound guy. And when he spoke, I was like, "What?" Yeah. So I met Mr. Clifford at his day job one time, which is kind of cool.
That's it. That is very cool.
I wanted to call and confess something about Magic 105 from back in the old days. I used to cheat you guys on your calling contest.
How? Teach me.
Apparently had only 2 lines, and so all you had to do was stay on the line.
Oh, because we were going so fast.
And I have this.
You call it 5.
Caller number 1. Caller number 2.
A lot of concert tickets off you guys like that.
Very
That was
clever.
good.
I'm gonna say it on behalf of the other two here. You motherfucker.
I'm so impressed. That is brilliant.
Because we're flying. I remember we only had like 4 minutes sometimes. You call number 1, you call number 2, you call number 3, you call number 4. And I bet he just 2, 4, 6. And if you knew you're on the even numbers, you're on the fast track to winning. That is so cool. Man, thank you very much for calling, man, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
Brian McCrae wants to know, do you still have a pass with Marion Ross with Mrs. Wood?
I don't think my wife is aware of what a seductive woman Marion Ross from Happy Days is.
I love Mrs. C.
I've always had a thing for Mrs. Cunningham on Happy Days. I don't know. I can't explain it, man. But I've always had one, and Brian is one of the few people who knows about it.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, you did?
Listen, I love me some. The Happy Days was my show. I love me some Arthur Fonzarelli. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
He was the coolest. Of course, he jumped the shark, literally.
One of these days, Brian's going to send me some kind of photo of Marion Ross. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to fucking die right there.
Oh, my gosh. Are you going through the questions?
I am.
Anything good? Anything juicy?
Too bad you were not in the studio when Lita Ford came in on Casey's show. So I got to ask Casey Jones the story.
Got to hear him.
Evidently
I
something
can't
happened.
believe that you've never met Casey.
No, I've
before.
never met her.
I guess the timeline never kind of crossed over.
Yeah.
That's going to be a cool thing for me too that night, because I've known all of you all, and to see the cross reference of the different eras, I'm going to really, really enjoy that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward. I hadn't seen Carol Kramer in a long time, and Gary Thomas, Gary Bunn, introduced me to her a few years back. I think it was at a Riverfest. But I've never met Casey Jones, and so
Want to hear a funny thing about Gary? Gary Thomas was a longtime weekender with us, great guy, and he now is a doctor. He's got his PhD. He's up at UCA. Oh yeah,
Dr. Bunn?
Yep, he's up at UCA. And when he was younger and beginning his education career, both of my boys had him as a math teacher at North Little Rock High School.
Yeah, he was teaching. That's right.
Yep,
wow,
Man.
Loved it.
501-514-4646. You could be the next phone caller here on this thing that we're doing. We're trying to answer your questions. If you got anything you want to ask either one of us, you can do it either online. Crawford's looking at the questions as they come up over here. Tom's just hanging out being Tom. That's all you really have to do when you're Tom.
Dan Chapman says, thank you, Tom, for the Russian Roulette album at the Rush concert at Barton.
Oh, wow. That's a nice memory. I appreciate that, man. Dan Chapman, great guy.
Which is the last time Rush has come. Rush is one of the bands I've never seen.
Never will know.
Because I mean, that was like early 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, probably, because you were saying about 88, how you just got to the station.
Hadn't seen that.
For those of you that are just tuning in that haven't heard the news, Neil Peart passed away at the age of 67.
So sad.
And that's like I was sitting over here editing video, and then Angela's just surfing the net, and next thing you know, she says Neil Peart died, and I was like, what? I mean, that's like there's few people in the world that make you just go, oh my God.
You asked how often I've seen a lot of the people that I've stayed in touch with from the early years. You know how I found out about Neil's death was David Allen Ross texted me.
Ross, get out of here.
Sure did. This afternoon.
I can't wait to meet him. But it's arguably one of the top 5 drummers of all time.
Oh, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Somebody'd say he's the best in the world. But then you could look at, it depends on what kind of drumming you're looking for. I mean, if Neil Peart, technically, his nickname was the Professor.
Right.
And when you watch him play, he's the most solid, just amazingly technical guy. But then you want to go to the super technical, you go to Terry Bozzio, you go to Dave Weckl. Yeah. There's all these drummers that drum for Frank Zappa.
Right.
Yes.
That you can go find drummers that are probably more Mangini. He's a drummer for Dream Theater now. I can't remember his. Mike Mangini, I think is his name, and he is amazing. I mean, he's just like inhuman what he can.
I only
do.
ask you because obviously you are a drummer, so you would know.
Not to be confused with a percussionist. They make money.
That's right.
I ran across a story. I was watching a Rush documentary just recently, and it didn't stand out to me when I heard it, but it did the second time I watched it. When Neil Peart was, how do you say it, Peart or Peart?
It's Peart.
Now it could be it's Peart in like a.
Damn it! Have I been saying it wrong all these years?
No, I think both are okay.
I think both are okay. Yeah. It's kind of like either. Let's call the whole thing off, kind of thing.
Yeah, regionally it's different.
But I think in Canada it was Peart.
He was notoriously shy about meeting fans. He never wanted to take part in the meet and greets and stuff. And when they were on the road, his days, he didn't know how to fill them. And he started to write a journal about their second tour or so. And he decided that he wanted to start doing it seriously. And you know where he bought his first typewriter after he made that decision? Little Rock, Arkansas.
Really?
Honest to goodness. And it's there in the documentary. He's talking to some interviewer and he's saying, I just had to fill my days with something. So I went out. We were on a tour stop in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I went out from the hotel room and I bought a typewriter.
I heard that on tour, he rarely rode the bus. He rode his motorcycle.
Yes, I've heard that
I've heard that story, yeah.
He lost both his wife and his daughter to car accidents. Terrible.
Kevin Chandler, K-Ray, he would like to know what made Magic 105 close down.
Well, I mean,
I have an analogy for that.
Go ahead, man. I'd rather hear yours than my technical answer.
If you let a 5-year-old drive your Ferrari, it's going to crash.
That's what he means by that is when all of us were in charge and we were doing it and just making it happen, everybody, just like the people who were watching this podcast, man, everybody loved the station. We were so bonded with listeners, and it meant the world to us to go to work every day.
Yes.
And then the corporate fuckers came in and took it over and changed everything and said, no, it's better if you do this and you better do that. And it just slowly ran out of steam. It's sanitized.
It's really amazing what happens when when a radio station actually gives, I'm going to cuss again, gives a shit about their listeners. I mean, when we actually gave a shit and we actually went out and shook hands, kissed babies, but it wasn't because we felt like we had to. It was because we wanted to, because every single thing, when I went out, and I'm sure you did the same thing, it was more or less, I wanted to be appreciative. Hey, thanks for listening. You know, thanks for listening.
Yes.
It's not, and I don't think that's happening very much in radio. I think it's too much, I'm going to go to work, go home.
Yep.
I'll tell you how many, it happened countless times that we would have a rock artist up at the studio for an interview because they had an album or they had a concert or something like that. And when we play a song, we had that downtime of 3 or 4 minutes because it was all live. We weren't taping it and editing it. We had that downtime of 3 or 4 minutes, and we would answer, or at least me, I would answer the phones. I can't tell you how many rock stars would say, I can't believe that all your listeners know you by name. You talk to them in a casual, friendly, like family kind of way. And they would just be so impressed by that because they'd be in Detroit or Miami or Atlanta or someplace. And it's just like, yeah, what can I do for you? Okay, great. I'll try to get that on. Click, boom, answer it. Not us.
And one thing we had that a lot of radio stations didn't have was a facial recognition. People would look at you and, you know, people come up to me in restaurants. Hey, Sharpe. Hey, Tom. Hey, Crofford. People would recognize you. How do they know what I look like? It's radio. Because we get out. We got out and actually said, you know, talk to the people, showed our appreciation. Today, if you're not on my Facebook page, my car stalled, just dropped dead on me at Ferris and Dave Ward. No. And I'm standing out there trying to direct traffic around the Jeep that is dead. Can't even turn the hazard lights on because the alternator went out. And the amount of people that are saying, hey, Sharpe, are you okay? Hey, Sharpe, this and hey, Sharpe, that. I'm like going like, yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. I got a tow truck on the way. Thanks. But people wanted to help, and it was interesting because they were calling me out by name, and I haven't been on the radio in like 8 years.
Yeah. Well, this is what I have to say is that the listeners, they grew up with us. They were, you know, intrigued in our personal lives. I mean, like my oldest son, I mean, his life was, you know, his early years was, you know, on the radio. I mean, you know, your kids, I mean, Tom, even your kids, I mean, our family, you know, we talked, that was general talk. I mean, we talked about, you know, our personal lives. And so, you know, I have, you know, listeners that listen to us. I think that they still think that we're on the air on Magic 105.
There's a lot of truth to
this day, that still happens. And people ask about, hey, how's Austin? You know, and Austin's my oldest son. And it's like, wow, you remember that.
I know it. It's amazing.
Oh.
It's the things that people will bring up that they remembered a single thing. It happened to be a regular old Friday afternoon or Monday morning and something we did on the air, and they still remember it because it was meaningful to them. It just blows me away. The intimacy of radio, there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah. Tom, are you bringing back the brown bagger on the new gig, legendary noon showman?
Well, for some reason, I'm doing the afternoon show, so we would have to do an afternoon type version of it. Mark Wallace, he likes to use Uncle Marcus on the air. As a matter of fact, he's going to do an hour of Rush tonight because of Neil Peart. That'll start about 9 o'clock. If we do some kind of thing like that, it would have to be in the afternoon. Maybe we could steal a page from your book, Sharpe, and do something like in the traffic jam type time. So it's a work in progress.
What Randall Gordon would like to know, what was some of your worst call-ins on Magic 105? Not sure if you got it early or worse, crazy, mean, etc.
I can't remember anybody ever cursing. Well, there were some, I guess, that cursed me out.
Yeah. They didn't make it on the air.
We did have control over that. That was right.
Y'all stand by. I'm going to go check a technical thing real quick.
Okay.
That's a tough question. Do you remember being on a Tommy Smith show? You had to have had some calls.
We had, you know, you're going to laugh. The worst call that we ever got was from Bubba the Love Sponge. He called us out because I stole one of his bits that was funny, and he cussed us out live on the air. What? And it was live on his show. Do you not remember this?
No.
So Bubba the Love Sponge, he was a nationally syndicated radio host out of Tampa. He had a bit, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I mean, it was one of the funniest bits. I stole it because everything that we did, we stole from somewhere else. And sure enough, Bubba worked for Clear Channel. Well, it eventually got back to Bubba. Bubba calls in on our hotline.
Oh my God.
Okay, on our hotline. Now Bubba, was way up the food chain. I mean, so he could probably just make a phone call and say, "Hey, I need this number to the radio station, in Little Rock, Arkansas, that's playing my shit."
Right.
He calls us up. We have no idea who it is, and we thought it's a gag. And sure enough, we had caller ID, and oh my God, it's coming from Tampa. And Bubba is cussing us out.
Wow.
Yes, that for using the bid. And then we get then we're told to come to Dale's office right after the show, and Dale gave us a cease and desist on all Bubba's bits. And so I had to pull it out of the system.
That's unbelievable.
How do you not remember that?
I don't know why I don't remember that.
We couldn't bleep all of them because, we only had a 6-second delay and a 7-second delay, and we dumped it so many times. I mean, I can't tell you how many words got out. I mean, it was bad.
People don't know how a delay works, but everything you're hearing on the speakers at home or in the car is 7 seconds behind what's happening live.
Right.
And that gives us time and you time in a morning show like that, if somebody says fuck or shit or something, he has to just hit a button and it will eliminate that word from the conversation before it gets to your speakers.
And we're so conscientious, all you have to do is hit it once. When something goes out, we're like hitting it a bunch of times. We ran out and it wouldn't refresh fast enough. And Bubba knew what he was doing. And I guess, he could get away with cussing. We couldn't, and it was bad. I mean, he called us cocksucker, motherfucker, all these words. And we're like, we didn't know what to say, what to do. I mean, yes, sir.
What was his real name? Clem something, wasn't it?
Todd Clem. That's it. Yeah.
Wasn't he involved in the whole Hulk Hogan sex tape thing?
He had sex with Hulk Hogan's wife, and they videotaped. No. Hulk Hogan had sex with Bubba's wife. They videotaped it. He leaked it. Okay, and made money off of it. And then, of course, there was a lawsuit. And he eventually, after he got fired from Clear Channel, he worked for Howard Stern. And then he got in trouble on satellite radio. How the hell do you get in trouble on satellite radio?
I don't know, man. I do not know.
Tom doesn't remember that he was at HSV with me playing golf.
Who
Ryan McCrae.
Hot Springs Village.
He doesn't remember that I was at Hot Springs Village playing golf?
Tom doesn't remember that.
Tom doesn't remember that he was at HSV. I had HSV. There's an ointment for that. Playing golf. What is that about?
Well, if it's from Brian, we used to sneak away a lot. Maybe he didn't hear the story I told before about.
Well, then you do.
Yeah, about Tony calling us when we had snuck away in the middle of the afternoon. Man, we had such a sweet deal going, man. The station was just cooking. Everything was working. I didn't have to worry about anything. That was one of the coolest things about having you guys on a staff. You knew what you were doing. You were professional. You knew exactly how far to push it if you were going to push it. You didn't always push it. Sometimes it was just straight and narrow. But whatever it was, I never had to worry about that kind of shit. And so me and Brian would be able to just hell, we're going to go out and play golf this afternoon.
Hold up, I'll say it. The only advantage of voice tracking for Tom was playing golf. All right.
Sean Graham, you get that one? It's nice to hear Tom drop an F-bomb.
Did I?
That's a great one. Another one that we just passed, Christmas in July and the St. Patty's Day Leprechaun Bowling.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to have people remember the carp throw. Remember the carp throw at Diego's?
Yes.
God, yes.
Those are the kinds of things that are going to come up that we say. You know what I had completely forgotten about till somebody reminded me about recently, and I'm not sure whether both of you guys were there. The Louie Parade. Do you remember that at all?
The kazoos?
Yeah. Oh, my God. All those fun things we used to do. Unbelievable.
And Sean Graham also says, can you tell us what you are all doing now?
Yeah, I have about 2 or 3 jobs. I do editing for a podcast from a really cool woman named Carrie McCoy. She does a business podcast from Flag and Banner downtown, and I edit her podcast for different platforms. I'm on the air every day at a brand new network of classic rock stations called Arkansas Rocks. If you're in Little Rock, it's 94.5. I'm on there 3 to 7 every day. And I also do some marketing and on-camera work for MeTV, home of Andy Griffith.
Really?
And McHale's Navy. Yeah.
What's the website for Arkansas Rocks?
ArkansasRocks.com.
Can I say that slow?
ArkansasRocks.com.
It's under construction, too, so don't expect it to be real flashy like something these guys have put together because we're just getting started, and it's usable. And the best thing about the website is the Listen Live link.
I'm running Sharpe videography now. We're doing stuff like, I offer some live streaming now. Had a guy call me up, how much for the live stream? And I haven't priced that yet.
$1 million.
This is a multi-million-dollar operation that you've got. He does everything. Seriously. I mean, he's doing podcasts. He's doing videography. He's got a printing company. Sharpe does everything. He's a one-man show.
He is.
Keep going.
Keep going.
He bought me this before we got here.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate you, Crofford. Man.
Very nice.
I'm keeping it.
I think I teared up a little bit.
I will say, so I am in sales. I work for the Little Rock Marriott. I also do some production stuff over at Verizon, Simmons Bank Arena. I will do, be a showrunner. And so I get, to see a lot of cool acts and obviously have some great stories.
I have one of the things that I love most about you is you've never lost your enthusiasm for going to shows. You will travel to go see shows,
Absolutely.
man. It's got to be like just exactly right for me. I got to feel exactly right. It's got to be easy to get to. It's got to be,
What was the last show you saw?
Last show I saw?
Yeah, that's an interesting, because I don't remember you going to very many shows.
I don't go to
You
very
were kind of
many
showed
anymore.
out.
Yeah, the last show that I actually saw, and this is going to date me, the last show I actually saw from beginning song of the opening act to end of the encore, walk out with everybody who really bothers Tom Petty at Verizon Arena.
That was a great show.
Unbelievable. It was so great. I did go see Steely Dan at Verizon Arena.
Oh, okay. That was after Tom Petty.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
If you could brag about a concert that you saw, what is it?
I actually have an answer for that. My son is a music critic for the Los Angeles Times.
Yeah.
And he was going to interview Rod Stewart about his residency in Las Vegas. And he called me, and he'll do this a lot about if he's going to interview classic rock stars, because he knows that's kind of what I did for a living. So he asked me if I knew anything about Rod Stewart that might be interesting to him. The most fun I ever saw a band have on stage, minus how great it was to watch, was Rod Stewart and Faces back in the Stay With Me days. Mm-hmm. And it was at the International Amphitheater in Chicago, Illinois. I was just a kid. And I just came away from that thinking, those guys are living a dream, man. It was the most fun I'd ever seen a band have on stage. Might not have been the greatest technical show I ever saw, but it was the most fun I ever saw a band have on stage. Wow. Rod Stewart, Ron Wood, Ian McClagan, all that original Faces band. Still remember it to this day.
What's the last show that you went to? Kiss?
Kiss.
Yeah, but he got to meet Kiss at that show.
Do they know
in
that
full
you do?
Makeup.
Do they know that you do a Sloppy Kiss show?
Sloppy Kiss?
Here's the thing. Tommy Thayer knows, because I was hanging out with John Daly up at in Dardanelle one time, and Monty Kist and I, we had an argument about, was there another guitar player that replaced Ace Frehley before Tommy Thayer? Because Tommy Thayer came in right after that.
Vinnie Vincent, isn't it?
No. This is like the after the reunion.
Oh, after the reunion. Okay.
And we said, no, it was Tommy Thayer. It was Tommy Thayer. And Monty and I kind of went back and forth, I think. And then next thing you know, here's John Daly. Hey, Thayer, it's Daly. Next thing you know, there's the guitar player for Kiss. And then John Daly told him about the Sloppy Kiss thing.
Yeah.
But I also heard a rumor that Paul Stanley heard about Sloppy Kiss.
Really?
And saw a video of us.
Yeah.
And the word on the street is this. Paul Stanley said about Sloppy Kiss. Now, it's all in the inflection because it was texted to me, okay?
All right.
This shit happens in Arkansas? Or could it be, this shit happens in Arkansas?
Hey, there's great
what's the
production value with Sloppy Kiss, okay?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a pain in the ass. That's why we do it once a year, because we have to forget what a royal pain in the ass it was to do the show to begin with. And there's a reason why Kiss charges a whole lot of money to do it, because it takes us 3 hours in a chair getting our makeup on because we're slow.
How come people like Paul Stanley and James Caan don't believe that we're this cool in Arkansas?
Absolutely.
I don't get that.
We're cooler than people give us credit for. What do we have? 3 perfect scores on the ACT now in Arkansas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
That's a big deal.
do we beat Texas? Hey.
My love for since we're talking about concerts, my love for the Beatles is because of you.
Really?
Absolutely, because I probably learned more Beatles just listening to your show. And I got the privilege of seeing 3 of the 4 Beatles, and got to see, obviously, Paul four or five times.
Wow.
And,
Did you not see Pete Best when he played Sticky Fingers?
No, I didn't.
It was a great show.
I bet it was. I bet it was a great show. And, there was a girl, because when I started coming up, Tommy taught me a lot, but a lot of the technical stuff I learned from a girl next door at the Duck. Her name was Lee, and I can't remember her last night. She did overnights. And then I would also hang out with Jeff Allen in the overnights because obviously Tommy, they were the lead in to Tommy's show. And I learned a lot of stuff. And the girl Lee that worked at the Duck actually gave me my love for Fleetwood Mac. And so, I mean, there's a lot of history with my love for music, but I've always loved to go to concerts. And I'm telling you, when I say I've seen everything from A to Z, I've seen AC/DC to ZZ Top.
I know you have.
And I'm very passionate. I'm a ticket snob. I mean, if I go to the show, I want to have good seats.
And you also know more about everything that happens to make a concert great because you're on the inner circle when you work at Simmons. So I've always been cool. So envious of that.
But, when you try to narrow down, some of the best shows, I mean, I was very privileged to see Don Henley's 70th birthday anniversary show where he brings out Patty, Stevie. I mean, all the people that he did duets with. It was one of the most amazing shows.
So you weren't at the Don Henley show where he threw the maraca?
The maraca in Little Rock, yes.
Yeah.
And he hit that person, and I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to tell the rest of the story. But, Henley had to settle out of court. I don't remember what the
all
deal
he said was, hey, you want a souvenir? Stop taking pictures. You want a souvenir? Here, I'll toss you a maraca.
And it hit her or something.
Well, she had the camera in her hand. Of course, she missed.
Yeah,
and she popped her in the head with the maraca. And then next day, we're on the show reading about she did a lawsuit.
Well, I'm going to put in a real big plug. I know Tom knows Michael Marion very, very well, but him and his staff, they bring the best shows, the biggest and best shows. I mean, think about this. I mean, prior to Alltel Arena, I mean, we had to travel. I mean, that's why Paul McCartney, Magic 105 bus trip to Memphis. That's why U2, Magic 105 bus trip to Memphis. I mean, those were the reasons why, we had to travel. And without Michael Marion over at Simmons Bank Arena, we didn't get these shows. And so, of course, you got to go to the show. You have to pay for the shows or you're not going to get the shows. But I'm telling you, I am spoiled when I tell you that my favorite, my greatest, the best job I ever had was at Magic 105. And it wasn't just to go to all the shows, but I mean, everything about it. I lived and breathed Magic 105.
Yeah,
that's why I don't have no hair. Because if you remember, I had a ball cap. It was a Nike ball cap, had Magic 105, and I bought a bunch of them, had them embroidered, and I wore it every day, even when I went to bed. And that's why I don't have any hair, and that's why I wear a visor.
I've got hair in my ass, but it's all tucked in my hat.
Signs, everywhere signs.
501-514. We're running out of battery here, so I can tell you right now, we've probably got about another maybe 10, 15 minutes. If this show just dies, that's the way it's going to end. So if you want to get in on the phone line, it's 501-514-4646. We have the phone right here. I will be happy to answer your call. Kevin K. Ray Chandler. Does that name ring a bell with you, Crofford?
I do not know this person, but he's asking what the most embarrassing stunt or one you didn't want to do but did it anywhere at 105. I will tell you right now.
That's a great question.
It is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Okay. It was, I believe, February 14th, 1998. It may have been 99, but I think it's 98. Tommy and Big Dave wanted me to dress up as Cupid, okay? And I was in a diaper, okay?
A real one?
Yeah, a real diaper.
Adult diaper or
it depends. It depends, okay? And I had a bow and arrow and everything. And I remember there was a diner, I think it was Frontier Diner. That's on 30.
This.
Okay. Frontier Diner, okay, and I was the guy that would say anything, do anything, and he wanted to talk to a guy that was at the restaurant, and I put him on the air, and you got to remember, these cell phones are like bricks. They're not like iPhones, okay?
Right.
And he took the phone, and evidently Tommy told him to pour the hot gravy in my diaper, okay? So he pulls open my diaper, okay, and he pours the hot gravy. He just got the plate. Now, it is fucking hot, okay? All right, hey, listen, I ain't got no underwear under the diaper. I am completely buck naked, okay? He pours it in there, and I was just so fuming. And you got to understand, and I feel sorry for the limo driver because I have to get into the limo, and when I sit down, gravy just splurts out everywhere, okay? We're coming back to the, and this is when Magic 105 was on Main Street in North Little Rock, 314th Main Street. And we pull into the back, okay? I open the back door, I'm walking, and I've got just gravy just coming out of everywhere. I swing that door open, and by chance, we wasn't on the air. I said, don't you ever fucking do that again. And I'm like screaming. I mean, and okay, I don't know if you ever remember this, but where the door opens, okay, if you remember, there was like a big dent where the door had hit the wall. Yeah. Okay, that was from me.
Was this Main Street?
This was Main Street, okay? And I left, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and I love Tommy to death, and I mean I would do anything for him because trust me, he really helped me with my career and did everything for me. But he actually left the show, and I remember going to Consuela's house, Gloria Tackett, to go take a shower, right, to clean up, okay? And he actually came and met me, and I'm standing there with a towel wrapped around my waist, and he's apologizing to me. And that's when, I realized that Tommy realized he took it too far and pushed it. And that probably was the most embarrassing stunt and probably the most dangerous. But I'm going to tell you, I want to save this for the reunion show, but the mannequin show was the coolest because I'm going to tell you right now, that was what made the Chinese Gangster of Love legendary because I had so many police cars, state, county, local, come out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, I became real quick friends with a lot of people, and I remember that was the day I was like, wow, I can really get away with anything because every law person listens to our show. Yes. Okay? But it was really, really cool, and I'm going to save that story, but that was really a cool moment with that stunt. But those are the two that, the plus and minus.
Right. Oh, my gosh. We'll be back. We'll talk more with Crofford. I have a question about you to save the answer. Have you ever been to jail? Don't answer now. Okay. So have you ever actually gone? Hello, caller. You're on.
Hey, Sharpe. How you guys doing, man? You and Tom, man. You all right, man?
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Man, I enjoyed that radio station, man. It was on a radio station I listened to when I first moved here about 30 years ago.
We used to have a great time every day.
Yeah. Hey, Sharpe, I want you to talk about the cigar party down at the Gators Barge that turned into a lingerie party.
What I remember of that. Oh, my God.
On the North Little Rock side.
Yeah. All I remember it was steak and cigar night out there. It was a little promotion we threw together with the radio station.
Yep.
And it was just like you paid $25 to get in there, and I think was it Cupid's that provided the ladies? Somebody provided ladies, and there's a picture of me with the.
It was they said they were cheerleaders from the hockey.
No, cheerleaders don't. Not even Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders dress this good. I mean, there's a picture of them literally sitting in front of me. They were. I don't know if they were in lingerie or bikinis. I have pictures. I'll have to go refresh my memory.
I think it's lingerie.
They were some good-looking girls.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. No, it was.
That was a good time.
We're gonna try and do another steak and cigar party, probably at TC's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll be as slutty. or whatever it is. But we'll see.
Great.
But that's what made it great was the scantily clad women.
It was a great night. Yes, it was.
What I love most. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I insist.
No, I was just going to say, man, it was a great night, and, man, you guys always did something great, even with the Poor Boys barbecue thing that was always going on with that one family. I can't remember the name.
The Osborns.
The old man that did that.
The Osborns.
The Osborns. That's right.
Those were some huge plates of food, man.
Oh, my God.
Man, I miss those.
Yep.
It was great. Great get-togethers.
Awesome, man.
All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go, and I look forward to this reunion thing you guys are doing. When and where is that going to be at?
It's going to be on Friday, January 24th, and it's downtown at the Ron Robinson Theater, which is that theater that's kind of tucked away by the main library downtown right off the River Market.
It's right behind Cash.
Yes, right behind the Cash restaurant there. There's parking right there. There's also, they've built a brand new parking deck there. There's street parking in the River Market, and it's free to get in, but you got to get there early, man. I'm telling you. Doors open at 6.
I'm sure it's going to be packed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an overflow crowd.
I think so.
And
all right, well, I'm going to let you guys go, man. I appreciate you guys doing this.
All right, appreciate you. Hope to see you on the 24th.
All right.
All right, take care, man.
Hey, Sharpe, there's a few people that want to know the number again.
501-514-4646. 501-514-4646. That number will ring this phone. And if you need Sharpe videography for any of your videography needs, that number will hire you me.
And if you can't remember the number, just dial gravy in your diaper and it'll come right to us.
Gravyyinyourdiaper.com.
Sean Sanders wants to know, Tom, do you think radio as we know it will ever return?
Yes, hell, we're doing it every day at Arkansas Rocks. It really, the things that we're talking about here take a huge staff. I mean, you have to remember that back in those days, this was a radio station that was fully staffed, live people, round the clock, 7 days a week. I remember so many times when somebody would get sick or something like that, and their shift was like 3 to 7 on a Sunday afternoon, and they'd call me up as the program director and say, man, I remember Alan Rail, great guy, never got sick, but one time did. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to go in, but it was fun, and you had people there all the time. That's the only reason that radio will maybe never blossom to the Magic 105 level again, because you don't have full staffs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But the attitude about the music, we can replicate that for you on Arkansas Rocks.
That's awesome.
Speaking of, when somebody gets sick or not, inclement weather. So there
Stand by color.
There was a time that we had a deal with the DoubleTree, and it was the Media Hotel. And let me tell you something. That's when I realized, these people are really cool. And there were television personalities that were downstairs with us, and we were all at the bar.
Yes, because you want to be there before you drive home.
Speaking of inclement weather, you have what we could have tonight.
Yes.
Tonight's supposed to get kind of nasty. But I remember we were going in there. Tornado warning. It was January 5th, January 25th tornadoes.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing this thing where they said, tornado warning, tornado warning, tornado warning, tornado warning. And then we ran in there. The light went off, ran back in again. Thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares about that? Hey, caller, you're on.
Magic 105 was the best.
Oh, there's Dan. Hi, Dan Chapman.
Dan. What's up, freaky?
Woo! What's up, Zion?
How about you, baby?
I'll tell you, this is a guy
What about those Magic 105 bus rides to Hot Springs? Oh, my gosh.
Hello.
And, of course, the infamous Memphis bus ride.
Oh, the Memphis trip.
Those bus trips, you were having as much fun on the way to the event as you did when you finally got to the event. They were great.
Well, he's talking about Jennifer Trafford. Mm-hmm. She won amateur night at Platinum Plus.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
Hi, Jennifer.
She's in Alaska, I believe.
She could still be listening.
She could.
Is she really in Alaska?
Yeah, she's in. Her and Micah is in Alaska, and but I just remember she won amateur night, and then I don't remember if
I
you
didn't
were
win.
there. No, not you. But I don't remember if you were there or not. But there was a homemade bikini contest.
I remember that
at one of the clubs. I can't.
It was at
the
Platinum.
Poorhouse. I think it was the Poorhouse.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think it was the Poorhouse. And Von Schaap was running the Poorhouse at the time, I believe. And she comes up, and she's like wearing nothing but bumper stickers. I mean, we're talking about it's covering everything in bumper stickers. It was one of the cool moments.
Oh, yeah. Hey, caller, you're on.
Hey, I wanted to ask Crofford about one time he ate a ghost pepper or some hot sauce and how sick he got on the air.
Okay, there's two instances. The first one, Mean Pig had the 911 sauce, and I literally bled on air. I mean, it was so hot. I mean, I don't know if I had a cut in my mouth or what, but I mean, blood was coming out. Ooh. And then didn't think that he could make it hotter. He comes up with the Shut Up juice, and it's named after The Rock. the wrestler, because know your role and shut your mouth, and that was where he got with the guy on the Food Channel,
right?
Adam somebody.
Yeah, Adam somebody, and I mean it got bigger and bigger. The Shut Up Juice is like legendary. People from all over the world come to the Mean Pig in Cabot to try this, and I mean it's ridiculously hot, and it like knocked me down to the ground. I had to call the paramedics.
Oh my God!
And I've got a cast iron stomach. I'll eat anything.
Do you like really hot stuff? I can't.
I'm a pussy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can't handle it. It's super hot.
I don't mind a little spice, but when it comes to like proving my manhood by hitting some of the most deliciously hot stuff, no, I'll pass. That was tough.
Oh man, I can't even imagine.
We should hold our show about ways that Crawford's injured himself.
Crawford's injured himself a lot. There was one time I fell off of a Zamboni in Alltel Arena, and my head was stuck to the ice, okay, because the blood had frozen, right? Amy Allen, or Amy Kateris at the time, she was there, and because, we were throwing beads out into the crowd for some reason, and obviously if the Zamboni would have hit the bead, it would have been, big time. So I jumped out, because I wanted to save the day to get the bead, and I slipped and slided because what a lot of people don't know, the Zamboni actually makes the ice wet.
Yes.
And I had no idea. I slipped and fell. Head was stuck, okay, to the ground, and they had to delay the game, obviously, and it was when there was two hockey teams in Arkansas.
Riverblades,
thank you.
Cats.
The Riverblades. And that was one time that I busted my head.
When I was a kid growing up in Northern Illinois, I used to play hockey, but we'd always play hockey on ponds, and that's not smooth ice. It's really rough ice. The first time I ever stepped foot on a skating rink, a hockey rink that used a Zamboni, I busted my ass in the first 5 seconds. It's completely different.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is. All right, we got about maybe 7 minutes left in this program. So let me go ahead and one more time say 501-514-4646. 501-514-4646. If you want to get a call into Crawford, Tom Wood, or myself, we'll take probably one or two more calls if we can. We want to talk about the event that's going on at Ron Robinson Theater also one more time. Tom, would you go for that?
Yeah, it's a reunion to celebrate the 40th anniversary of this great radio station, Magic 105, and it's going to be free admission Friday, January 24th. It starts at 7. The doors open up 6 o'clock. Our thanks to John Miller from Arkansas Sounds. He's the one who came up with this idea.
That's Big John Miller, by the way. Yeah. Big John Miller has one of the greatest quotes ever from anybody. Have I told you this already?
I don't think so.
It's one of the greatest quotes ever. Big John Miller opened up for James Brown at Riverfest, and James Brown comes right up to Big John Miller after his set and says, and I quote, "Oh, let me tell you, when you sing, the white just falls right off you."
Oh, there's nothing better than that.
Hey, caller, you're on. It's DJ Hollywood, everybody. Yes, DJ Hollywood's on the line.
Hollywood!
Woo!
Hey, guys, how are you, man? I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome. I sent a question earlier asking you guys, when you guys were first came on Magic 105, what was one of the first concerts that you went to that you remember, and what was one of your favorites? Those are two questions in one.
When we first went on the air, it was tough to get anybody to take us seriously because we were licensed to Conway. We were trying to compete in the Little Rock market. Everybody that was already established in Little Rock was like, they're never going to make a dent in this. And it was really hard work to work with the promoters who were mostly in Memphis or New Orleans or Dallas who were bringing the big shows to town. But there is a guy to whom we are all indebted. His name is Jim Holt. He still runs Memphis in May and does that huge Beale Street Music Festival. He was the first guy to ever take a chance on us and say, all right, let me give you a shot here. You've convinced me. And it was a Foreigner show at Barton Coliseum. And I forget who the opener was, but he gave us what's called in the business the presents. Mm-hmm. We got to go on stage and welcome everybody. And the show, I don't know if it sold out or not, but it did really well. And without him taking a chance on us, we never would have established ourselves as a concert power.
Speaking of concerts, the first concert I remember with the red and yellow logo was Bad Company and Damn Yankees. That's right.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. I got in big trouble on that one because I went out before the show and I said, and Ted Nugent's here with Damn Yankees. And I got backstage and the guys, the managers for the band said, do not single out Ted. He hates that. You got to call him the band, not Ted. Oh man,
Uncle Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. And speaking as a drummer, Michael Cardelloni, who's drumming for Leonard Skinner now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
He's a badass, and we go backstage, and there's Jack Blades, Tommy Shaw, and Ted Nugent. Everybody's just paying attention to him, and Michael Cardelloni is just over here in the corner going, "Hey." And I actually walked over to him and said, "I know who you are. Hi, how you doing?"
Excellent.
So he's a badass.
That was the essence of cool.
Yeah. By the way, DJ.
So
Huh?
Joe, what was your favorite band? Get to like meet and greet. What was your favorite band? The one that stuck out the most for you?
Well, I didn't get a chance to meet them, but my favorite rock band of all time is AC/DC. I mean, hands down, there's not even a close second. And I'll go ahead and plug. This is the year of the 40th anniversary of Back in Black, the most successful rock album.
July 25th.
Yeah, July 25th. There you go. Boom.
I heard that Brian Johnson's going to come back and tour.
Yes, he
with it.
is.
How can he sing? I mean, his voice has got to be.
Has it stopped him before?
Never stopped him before. But,
Excellent
But
point.
I will say this real quick story. The last tour that they did, the Rocker Bus Tour, I got to see Brian Johnson sing with AC/DC. The second to the last show, and then I got to see the first show with Axl Rose in Atlanta on the same tour.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean about you. Your passion for going to shows wherever you have to go has never flagged, man. I'm so envious of that.
He's still kind of stupid young.
You ain't that young.
Yeah, I'm getting up there, man.
How old are you now?
I'm 44.
Yeah, geezer. Geezer.
Now, you got to remember the day.
Has your eyesight started to fail yet?
No, I've got
Fuck
perfect
you.
vision. Wow. Jesus Christ. Wow. Can you say that? I will say
I
this
got one
now.
more. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your favorite one? Like in the actual studio, your favorite person. Being in the studio, like your favorite interview or whatever.
I would have two. One of them I mentioned earlier tonight, and that was when Joe Elliott from Def Leppard came up. I was in the studio.
Right.
It wasn't really my day part, which is what we call a different shift, but I was there and saw him just his eyes light up when he got to do a guest DJ thing. But if anybody knows who the band Hot Tuna is, it's made up of two people who used to be in Jefferson Airplane, Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy, and they came up because they were doing a show at Juanita's, and they were a couple of my idols, and to just be able to sit there and chat with them, and they're just the coolest down-to-earth people. And they were a couple of them that mentioned, because somebody had called during a time when we were playing one of their songs, and I wrote down the request that the guy called for, and Jorma and Jack looked at each other and said, "That's fucking amazing." I mean, he wrote down the song and is going to play it for the guy later. Radio stations just don't do that. And I said, this one does.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Hollywood, we'll see you at the Arkansas Bridal Fair this weekend at the State House Convention
Absolutely,
Center,
brother.
Arkansas's best DJ service.
Nice.
Oh, dude, thank you. You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
Well, $20 is $20.
$20 is $20.
That's the punchline to a great joke.
It is. It is. Hollywood, you take care, my friend. We'll see you over the weekend.
All right, brothers.
All right, man.
I'll look forward to the next show, man. This is awesome.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I've seen a
See
couple.
you, Joe. See you, Tom.
See you,
Take
man.
care, buddy. I've seen a couple of these. Somebody just asked about Michael P. What happened to Michael P.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, he sure did.
2005.
Had a heart attack one time when he was still working with Magic 105, and we thought he'd recovered from it real well, but he left the station, moved down to El Dorado, was with his sister living down there and working a job, and had another heart attack, and it took his life.
They asked about Monkey Man. Monkey Man passed away a few years ago too. And wrestling, man, I actually don't know what happened to him. I know he went to prison for a little bit, but I don't know what happened after that.
I've not heard either.
Let's see. Tony Falls, I just want to thank you for so many great memories over the years. Brian, pregnant bikini contest. You remember that?
That was a good one.
I do.
I wonder how many people who are going to be at the reunion on the 24th are too young to know what Diego's Hog's Breath Cantina was.
Man.
There's going to be people who don't even know that place existed or where it was, and that was Magic 105 Central for so many years.
It's a Dixie Cafe now, or what? No, it's not
was.
even.
Yeah.
It's gone too.
Well, it's famous for the plane.
The
that
plane.
Was in the,
right.
So I mean,
down at
it
the bottom
was-
of Rebsamen Hill.
But we don't even have Cajuns anymore. That was a Magic 105 staple.
Yeah, sure was. A lot of big deck parties. And you
Billy
gotta be-
Squire opened for Foreigner in 1981.
Thank you. Beautiful. That is great.
Yeah.
I remember Billy Squire. We took some listeners backstage to meet him. It may not have been that show. It was probably his Don't Say No tour when he was the headliner. But I'd never had. Are you guys familiar with an English liquor? It's not a real strong liquor. It's called Pimm's. Do you know Pimm's? No. That's what he drinks.
Really?
And when we went backstage, we were back there just getting everything ready for the listeners to come back. And he says, "Can I make you a Pimm's?" And I said, "I don't know what that is." And he made it. I've loved it ever since.
All right.
That's funny.
Hey, caller, you're on.
Hey, guys. It's Reverend Von Sharpe. How are you guys doing?
Von Sharpe, the owner of previously known as Miss Kitty's.
Oh, my gosh. That was where I had breast milk squirted on me. I said, "You didn't just have a baby." And I was at Miss Kitty's. You didn't just have a baby. She goes, "Oh yes, I did. Watch this." And she poked a hole in her pasty and I went, "Oh,
good time, just damn fine times." I tell you what, born and raised in Fort Smith. I moved here in about '91. We didn't have the luxury of having decent radio. When I first moved here, I got my job at Diego's, and that's where I met Tommy. And from there, I was fortunate enough I've been in the bar business 35 years now, man. And was fortunate enough to get to meet you guys and have things like leprechaun bowling and
cart throws.
It's probably a good thing that I couldn't post the pictures from the 105 golf turning onto the website with live stream. But I still have all that. So
okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna ask you this: what was the stripper's name that got her ass whooped by John Daly's ex-wife?
All right, first of all, Daly's wife never made it to her. Her name was Essence.
Essence.
Daly's wife never made it to her because Boner, my DJ, stopped Daly's wife. You remember that Daly's wife had a house arrest ankle bracelet on.
Is this the same Boner that's out at Sensations now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's worked for me for years and years and years from met him when I was at Shug's over to the underground pub and the courthouse.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. She had the ankle bracelet, but she fell out of the golf cart and ran and punched her. I was standing right there.
He didn't hit her. I was there too. I was there when John pulled his junk out with Marvin trying to see who was going to have the biggest, I guess you could say dick.
Yeah, you can say dick.
You can say cock. You can say motherfucking cock. I don't care.
We do draw the line at gravy in your diaper, though. I ain't going to go.
I feel real fortunate to have been part of all that. And it was always a whole lot of fun, especially in the mornings with, we'll call them exotic dancers at the station. That was always a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, it's been great to get to be part of this and the history and just to watch you guys tonight. I know next week's going to be a big time.
Oh, it is. Is that still me? Hang on a second.
What the fuck are you doing?
No, I think it's a delay
on what he's listening.
It was my phone.
Yeah,
it was my phone.
Oh, it's your phone?
Yeah, I just. We're still working the kinks out of it. I said the show's still in beta.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still in beta. I like it. It's like Crofford.
Yeah. Crawford's still in beta.
Listen, Von Sharpe was.
Hey, and I don't know if Danny Joe remembers me having to come save him in was it Cancun or Cozumel from the quote unquote cigar bar.
Okay, so we're at a Mexican whorehouse. Okay, evidently I was naive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that means Red took you there. And they
Red
went
took
back
me
and
there.
you passed out in front. And
what he's
wife
talking
had to go
about.
get you.
Okay, after Tommy and I had gotten fired from 105, we had this all-inclusive trip for the listeners, okay? And so we still went on this trip, okay, in September, and we got fired in July, okay? And so I go to this brothel, okay? I don't know that it's a brothel, okay?
Who would?
Oh, please, Battery, stick around for this.
So I'm in this Mexican whorehouse, and I got gravy in my diaper.
Listen, some of the shit that I saw in Mexico, okay? Von Sharpe has always had my back, and, I mean, he's a good friend, and he's always taking good care of me. Yeah.
Well, I've always had fun, and, I'm Crawford's personal handyman, so,
yes, he is.
There's perks, I guess. There's perks. Well, guys, thank y'all for doing this. I hope it's a big success next week. I got to work over at Four Quarter in Argentina tomorrow, next week.
No, it's in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. It's the 24th.
It's on 2 weeks.
Yes, it's
that's
the 24th.
Right, it's the 24th. It's the week of, that's my birthday weekend. Well, Either way, I got to work on Fridays. So I hope it's a big success. And maybe y'all can do it again at a bigger venue even.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We're also working on an after party. So if you can make it to the after party, keep on Remember Magic 105, the Facebook page. Remember Magic 105, and we'll definitely let you know if there's an after party somewhere.
All right, hey, you guys be safe. Thank y'all for
All right, take care.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what the fuck kind of shit he's on, but I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, the Outlaw will be at the Ron Robinson. He will vouch for that story. That woman whipped the shit out of the stripper, okay? I'm going to find the stripper, okay?
My God, that's so funny to me.
I can't think of a better place to end the show. I'm just right there.
Oh, that's so great, man. You guys are awesome.
All right. Well,
This is fun.
How can people reach you? Is there like an email if anybody wants to reach you, or give us your Facebooks?
So Danny Joe Crawford, DANNY -JOECROFFORD.
He will bitch you out if you miss that.
I am on Twitter at DJ Crawford. I'm on Instagram at DJ Crawford, and all my social media is at DJ Crawford.
Okay. Tom, how do they reach you? Is there a way to get you at Arkansas Rocks?
Not yet. There's an ArkansasRocks.com email account set up, but I don't know how to access it. Somebody told me that they teach me. I don't know how to do it yet. And on Facebook, I mean, I don't know. Is it just Tom Wood?
It's Tom Wood.
Is that what it is? All right. Well, there you go.
At Tom Wood.
There you go.
I tell people all the time when people say, Sharpe, I can't reach you. I've tried forever to reach you. I said, if you just even type my name in wrong, Sharpe Dunaway in Google, if you don't see like 18 ways to contact me, you're really not trying. If I'm not there, I'm dead. So don't even just stop trying.
If they can't get a hold of you, they're lying. You are the most accessible person. Your phone number is everywhere.
501-514-4646. How about I just make it really stupid easy on you, and you can call me anytime you want, especially if you need videography. At SharpeVideography.com. That's Sharpe with an E. Call us today. We'll shoot anything if it's legal, and I don't barter for porn.
I will.
But my dad, one time I tried bartering for porn. I haven't told the story on this. I'm going to tell it real quick. One time I had a lady call me up, and she said, do you barter? And I said, what are we doing? She said, I'm going to move out to Los Angeles, and I'm going to get in the porn industry, and I need to make a demo tape. And I said, you want to barter? And she's like, I said, I don't feel comfortable doing that at all. I don't think my wife would appreciate that a bit. And so I turned it down. I went over to Dad's for cocktail hour, and we're drinking. And I said, Dad, I turned down a porno. I knew I was going to eventually get asked to do one, but I turned down one because she wanted to barter. And my 80-something-year-old dad at the time goes, did you lose my fucking number? True story. True story. Recently widowed, and he was just like, did you lose my number?
Okay, as far as porn stories, I'm fixing to Jeff Allen you.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So we were notorious for having porn stars in the studio.
What?
Did you not know this?
No, I knew that.
So we had Ginger Lynn come to a live broadcast. I have a picture of Ginger Lynn holding my dick. It's one of the coolest things.
Is she the one? Now, she's not the same one that was in a picture with Jeff Allen and Eric Johnson naked in the studio.
No, that's not her.
I'll tell you something. With all due respect, Eric, I love you to death, man, but don't be naked around Jeff Allen. So just don't do it. Just don't do it, man.
So one more time, Tom, all this is going to happen in 2 weeks. Tell us about it.
Friday, January 24th at the Ron Robinson Theater. Of course, now after they've heard this shit, they're probably going to call me up in the morning and go, this is canceled. Yeah, probably. Friday, January 24th, 7 p.m. It's free. Doors open at 6. It's, from all indications, there's going to be more people than we have seats, so please get there early. And it's a panel discussion, all of us doing on stage exactly what we've been doing here.
And some of the legendary figures that's going to be there.
Oh, Casey Jones, Carol Kramer, David Allen Ross, Tommy Smith, Sandy O'Connor, Jeff Allen, Sharpe Dunaway, Danny Joe Crawford, all the promotion directors that we've had, LaDawn Fuhr, Sharon Anderson. We've even got people from the sales department. If you're into that part of the broadcasting world, you may know Sarah Mills, you may know Gordon Hyges. They're all going to be there too. It's just a really great opportunity. Gene Drees from Warner Brothers Records, who got us started in the record relationship business. Wow. It's going to be amazing.
Get there early too, because not only is it limited seating, but there's a bar.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a bar.
My wife is planning to camp out at the Ron Robinson.
Really?
Yeah, to make sure she gets a seat.
She could be on the camera crew.
Bingo. There you go.
And we're going to do some work. I don't know if this is going to happen. We're going to try and do some work to see if we can't get this live streamed. We're going to show up early, and we're going to try and see if we can set up live streaming. I don't know if we can or not. We're going to test it next week, and if it works out, we'll make an announcement that people that cannot make the show might be able to watch it on the live stream.
Okay.
That's a good idea because then it reduces the number of people that might get turned away, and you can sit at home and watch the whole thing.
Well, it's a night that I'm looking forward to. Like I said, there's so many, as a student of the game, there are so many legendary figureheads that have come through Magic 105 that I'm looking forward to meeting. And like I said, like David Allen Ross and Casey Jones and seeing some of the, more familiar people like Carol Kramer that I've met and Reed Mitchell, Treetop. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to be the biggest fanboy there in 2 weeks. So this is really exciting for me.
Very cool.
Me too.
All right, man. Well, we are out. I'm gonna push this button. I think this is what turns off the show. But thank you very much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, maybe we'll do some more. This is kind of like Rockline.
Yeah.
So this is fun. We'll do some more of these in the future. But thank you very much for tuning in. And remember to remember magic105.com and tell your friends to like that too. Let's keep the memory alive. And thank you very much. Bye.
See ya.